So for this video, I decided to take a different approach than the usual video, which is to talk about one topic specifically. On this one, I posted a Q&A on my Instagram account, and I decided to answer questions that you guys have related to my life, to my success, business, life in general, etc. By the way, if you don't follow me on Instagram, go do so that you can get daily content from me there, and you can also contribute to the questions that I can review in future videos as well. Now, the reason why I decided to do this is because I want the channel to take a little bit of a podcast vibe, a little bit more than just like one specific topic at all times, and just like that way be able to share ideas with you, answer your questions, but also start bringing cool guests into the show. My name is Andrew Pizzi. I'm an investor and entrepreneur out of Las Vegas, and I want to welcome you to the AP Show, where I'll be focusing on how to build a great life around health, wealth, love, and happiness, which I believe are all needed in order for you to have a great life overall, and not just in one specific area. If you thought that because the video is taking a different approach, I was not going to ask you for the usual things, you're wrong. Because I still need the 2 to 3 things that I ask from you in every single video, which is to hit the subscribe button so that we can get to the end of the year with 1,000 subscribers on the channel. I need this because it's a personal goal of mine, and I need you to keep helping me with those 2 or 3 things every single time. Please also hit the like button so that YouTube can push this content out and recommend the channel to a brand new audience, and that way more and more people get to subscribe to the channel and enjoy the content that we're reviewing every single week. Also, if you can, please hit the notification bell. That way you can get notified every single Monday when I drop a new video. Last but not least, please comment below with your thoughts about the topic, with your thoughts about the questions, and also with any questions that you would like me to address in future videos. With all of that being said, let's jump into question number 1, which is, what is the one difference that you see between successful people and unsuccessful people? The one thing that I can say, there's many, but the one main difference that I see between successful people that I also see unsuccessful people complain about is the amount of money that people, unsuccessful people especially, want to spend in the things that are going to feed your mind, the things that are going to educate you. For example, think about this for a second. Unsuccessful people are the ones that spend $1,000 on a new iPhone every single year when it comes out, but when it comes down to a course, a class, a mastermind, an event, or anything like that that costs $1,000 to attend to, it's way too much money. That is a differentiator between successful people and unsuccessful people. Question number 2 is, I'm an all-state agency owner. Where do you find good employees? Hey man, thanks for reaching out. I did a video recently on how to build a dream team, but just like customers, I would say the following. The referrals are always going to be your best bet when it comes down to customers, and also when it comes down to people that you want in your team. It's always going to bring the cleanest, most qualified candidates on the table so that you don't have to spend hours and hours and days interviewing people that are not going to make it. Question number 3 is, how did you make your money? I actually feel like this should be asked to somebody who is a multi-millionaire and that has had a big exit in an industry, but my main source of income has been and will probably continue to be from insurance. I actually opened an insurance company a few years back, and though I have other sources of income and other businesses, that continues to be my main source of money, but also where I spend the most time, just because that's what I enjoy doing the most. Next question is, how do you balance patience with grind? And this actually has to be one of the best questions I've ever been asked. And the answer to this question would be, it's really hard to master, but it's really important that you do so, especially if you're an entrepreneur. It's going to be really hard for you to master staying focused in one thing, because as an entrepreneur, you want your hands everywhere. I would say the way that I managed to find somewhat of a balance is the confidence that I made the right decision in the business that I decided to start. Meaning, if I know that the business and the industry that I got in is a solid one, it's going to be easier for me to find balance on knowing that that's where I need to be focused on. And in my case, that's my insurance company. I actually did a lot of research before I got into the insurance industry, but once I did and I studied that was the industry that I wanted to get into, I went into it confidently because I knew that was an industry and a business that if I dedicated a decade or two, it was going to make me all the money that I ever dreamed of. Now, what's important here is to keep the patience, but please do not stop working at 1,000 miles an hour. You need to be patient, but you also need to put in the hard work that it takes to be successful. The next question is actually coming from the same person that asked the previous one, and it's the following. How do you perform consistently? The easiest way that I can answer this question for you and the easiest way that you can fix this is the following. Be a thermostat, not a thermometer. What's the difference between the two and why am I talking about this? A thermometer is going to give you the temperature and it's going to go up and down based on what it's measuring. A thermostat, you get to set the temperature and it brings whatever room or whatever you're wanting it to bring down to the temperature that you want it to be. What I mean by this, because it might be confusing, is you need to be a thermostat, you need to set the goal, and everything around you should be working towards that goal. You shouldn't let outside things or things that can happen in your life affect your performance and affect the fact that you may not get to the goal if you let other things affect it. Let's go to the next question. Next question is, do you believe that your physical shape affects your performance? Let me actually answer this question with another question because I believe it's pretty important that you consider certain things. One, if you look at yourself in the mirror right now, will you be pumped and happy about the shape that you are in right now? Because if the answer is no, then that's your answer. You will always perform better when you look at yourself in the mirror and you're proud of how you look. The second thing I would ask you to consider is, what do you think is needed in order for you to be in good shape? Good sleep, good food, good eating, and good exercise. And let me tell you something. If you do those three things, automatically you're going to perform better, because even if it's not because of you look at yourself in the mirror and you're proud, you're going to perform at a higher level when you're healthy, when you slept well, and when you feel more energetic. Question number 7 is, can you touch on how habits form discipline? I love this question, man. I actually talked about this about a month or two ago, and I think it's so massively important to master the habits that you put into your life, because it's so much easier to build discipline around things that you just do every single day over and over and over. Think about it for a second. It's always going to be easier for you to build discipline to stick to a morning routine if every single morning you wake up, brush your teeth, put gym clothes, go for a workout, come back, read a book while you drink a coffee, then take a shower, and then head out to the office. It's going to be so much easier to build a discipline to do it every single day, because you're going to get to a point where it's an autopilot. You're not even going to be noticing that that's something that you need to be disciplined for, just because you're so used to doing whatever it is that your morning routine is. And it's the same for anything else that you want to set yourself on. Next question is, you said motivation isn't important, but discipline is. And I disagree with that. Number one, I love that you disagree with that point of view, because in the disagreements is when people expose their points of views, and that way we can make a more informed decision. That being said, I never said that it wasn't important. I actually said that discipline is more important than motivation, because usually motivation is not going to be there every single day for you, which, by the way, if it is for you, kudos to you. But usually for people, motivation won't be there every single day. Discipline, if you build it the right way, will be. So what I meant by that is not that motivation is not important and then discipline is the only thing that matters, but rather is that motivation won't be there for you one morning and you won't want to get up to go to the gym. But if you're disciplined and you build the habits, which is what we were talking about, you will go to the gym and perform every single day. So what I said was, motivation is not always the answer to all the questions. Discipline is, because whenever you don't feel like it, you will still perform through discipline. Let's go to the next question, which is, What would you say is one thing that has made you successful? If I told you that there's one thing that has made me successful, I would be a complete liar and this channel would have no purpose, because I really think that success is defined and composed by way too many things for me to give you one. But what I can tell you is that being curious, just being a curious person, has got to be one of the most important things. Being curious is hyper important. The reason in it is because by being curious, you're going to be asking for the why. And by asking for the why and going deeper into the topics, you will find your purpose, but you will also find yourself becoming more wiser, becoming more powerful, and just becoming a more interesting person to talk to, because you're going to have the answer to many things that other people just don't, just because they don't ask questions and they don't want to dig deeper. Let's review the last question, which is question number 10. What is one thing that you live by? I actually have a list of things that I live by and that I read every single day, but one that is probably one of the most important ones that I read every single morning when I wake up is the following. Every day you will have two options: the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. And let me tell you something about that. Whenever you are presented with that option, you always, I promise you, want to choose the pain of discipline every time over the pain of regret. Let me tell you something, and it might sound like it makes no sense, but the pain of regret is far bigger than the pain of discipline. I swear, you have to trust me on this. All discipline is putting off what you want now for what you want the most. That is it. That is literally the definition of discipline. Okay, that's it for this time. Please comment below with your thoughts about this specific topic. Should I do more Q&As? Should I stop? Were they helpful? What should we continue to be reviewing? I want to get your thoughts on this. As always, thank you for watching all the way until the end. Please go to Instagram, give me a follow there as well. I get daily content pumped out on that account. And as always, take care everybody. Thank you for watching.